Hi there, and welcome to Tea with the Fertility Godmother. I'm Denise Noira-Arez, and I get to help couples get their bodies as healthy as possible so that they can get pregnant, carry their pregnancy to term, and have a healthy baby. And I'm excited to be with you here today. We missed last week, so it's great to be back. Today we're going to be talking about preconception care for the man. So, let's go ahead and get started. Please be sure to share this video and give us a thumbs up if you find it helpful. But please be sure to share it so we can help inform as many people as possible that are getting ready to have a baby, whether they're just trying to conceive or whether they've been trying for quite a long time. This is going to be very helpful for them. So what is preconception care? Preconception care is getting your body as healthy as possible before you conceive. So it seems like it should be around 3 to 6 months of actually taking care of yourself. It used to be really focused on 3 months being really healthy. But it seems like now they're starting to realize that 6 months, at least 6 months prior to trying to conceive, is really important so that all your cells have a chance to renew and be as healthy as possible. And it takes around 120 days for your whole body, like your cells are constantly turning over and making new cells. So it takes about 120 days for all your cells to completely renew and for all the nutrition to really get in there and enhance that. And that's going to impact the sperm quality. So it's really important to take that time and become as healthy as possible. And for men, it takes 90 days for your body to create sperm. So it takes about 90 days. Sometimes you can see things happen faster. So if you're, if you've been doing this for a while, then even 2 weeks to a month can make some significant changes. But for the most part, it does take time. And so it's really important that you take some time to get yourself as healthy as possible as well. We're so focused on the woman being as healthy as possible because of her eggs. Everybody puts a lot of weight on the quality of the eggs, and also because the woman carries the baby. So that's absolutely important. But I find that oftentimes the male partner, the dad, is kind of left on the sidelines, and if they don't put as much, the doctors, when I say they don't put as much emphasis on the importance of the male partner being healthy. And the problem with that is it takes two of you to make a baby, right? So you both need to become as healthy as possible, and while you're getting ready to have a baby. So taking 3 to 6 months and getting your bodies, both of your bodies. Hey, Sarah, good to see you. How are you? Taking time to really get both your bodies as healthy as possible is really vital to having, not only getting pregnant, carrying the pregnancy all the way, but also having a healthy baby, because it takes the man's genes, his DNA as well. So we'll go over some of those things that you can do to help improve that is important for the man for his preconception care. And again, please be sure to go ahead and share this video, because I want to make sure that those men feel included. So let's go ahead and take care of them too. There's a lot of great guys out there, but nobody. Oh, I love you too, Sarah. Thank you. I'm so glad you're doing well. Sorry about that. I'm so excited to see her on the board here. So some of the things that you guys can do would be, one thing that we do in our practice, let me go to one of the first things we do is we like to make sure that you had a physical. So when was the last time you had a physical? Now, a lot of guys don't like to go to the doctor. So oftentimes I'm sending them back to their doctor, or I'm writing a prescription for them to go do some basic blood work. But it's important to make sure that you have the nutrition that your lipids are healthy, that are in the right range, that your thyroid is in the right range. You're not hypothyroid. You want to make sure that you're not struggling with diabetes or you're having some sugar issues. You also want to make sure your vitamin D levels are really strong in a good range. All these things can impact the quality of your sperm and, of course, your overall health. So you want to just have some basic blood work done, check your hormone levels, especially if you've been trying for a while. and it hasn't been successful, make sure to check your hormone levels as well. So that's some of the basic things. You also want to make sure you get a semen analysis. Oftentimes, even if you're going through secondary infertility, which is when you've already had a child, but now all of a sudden it's become very challenging to have a child, the husband should be checked as well. I see a lot of times in the fertility clinics, they just say, oh, he produced a child, he's fine. But things change, and they can change within a couple of years or even within a year. I've seen things change even in a year. So it's really important to make sure to go ahead and get that semen analysis and get it checked and make sure that everything's looking good. And just know that a semen analysis is really kind of like a superficial overview of the quality of the sperm, because it's just checking how many you have, if it's really thick and clumpy, or if it has a good consistency to it. Are they moving? Are they moving forward? And the shape, because all those things are important in order to be able to fertilize the egg. So you want to make sure that your that his sperm is looking good. There's some other tests you can do to really check out the quality of the sperm, and that would be like a DNA fragmentation test. And what that does is it looks to see if there's any damage done to the DNA. And damage done was usually done from usually caused by environmental factors or diet. So that's why I say just eat really healthy, and we'll go through some of those things in a few minutes of some of the things you can do, because that will directly impact the quality of the DNA that you're going to be giving to your little one, your little baby. So I love it when the dads or the future dads come in and they're like, I want my sperm to be Superman sperm. It's just like, yes, it's so wonderful, because I love it when they really get involved. It makes things go so much smoother for both partners. And I don't know if you know, but if your sperm isn't a good quality, you can increase the chance of your partner having a miscarriage, especially in the early stages, because it impacts embryo development. And then, of course, it's going to impact the health of your baby as well. And it's exciting that we're able to really pinpoint these issues, because you can do something about it. And if you don't know, you can't do anything about it. So without further ado, let me tell you some things. I want to make sure I don't forget anything. Some things that are important for you as the man, as a future dad, to do as you're getting ready to have a baby. And again, you want to do it around 3 to 6 months before you actually conceive. Because what happens is a woman finds out she's pregnant. She's already 2 weeks pregnant. And you want to make sure that you're doing all these things way before you actually are trying. So one thing that I see a lot of men don't take a lot of supplements. So I think there should be, and there is actually a good prenatal vitamin for men of prenatal health. So you have to be careful with vitamins. Make sure that in a man's vitamin, you don't have any iron in the vitamin. Unless you're deficient in iron, then you might want to take some. But most men aren't. But you have to be very careful of having too much iron. And things you want to look for in a multivitamin, or I'm going to call it a prenatal man's vitamin, or you want to make sure you have enough folate in there, because folate's really important for not only for the woman. A lot of women know it's important, but also for the development of the sperm. You want to make sure it has zinc, selenium, vitamin C, vitamin E. Those are all things that are going to be, and the B vitamins are going to be really important to make sure that to help give the nutrition to the sperm so that they can be as healthy as possible. So vitamin C and E are antioxidants that are going to protect the sperm. And then selenium actually helps with movement and numbers if you're low in numbers. And drinking enough water is really important, because otherwise everything's going to be too sticky and clumpy. So making sure you're hydrated, and then the antioxidants are going to help that as well. Some things you can get naturally and from food are like, I like to recommend our guys to eat a lot of Brazil nuts. There's a lot of zinc in Brazil nuts and selenium, almonds, nuts, seeds. All those things are really good to add into your diet. And then some natural folate as well, such as leafy greens. You want to try to eat as many as you can. And if you don't like vegetables, you can either do a smoothie in the morning and throw some spinach, because spinach doesn't have a lot of taste into it, so that you get some veggies. And also you can take a supplement, another supplement, whether it's a powder you put in water and drink it, or a pill. Just be careful of extra herbs in there. You want to try to keep it as pure as possible. Smoking, whether you're smoking cigarettes or you're smoking marijuana, it's going to impact your sperm. So smoking causes a lot of damage to the sperm. It slows them down. It causes a lot of damage to the DNA, motility, the numbers. Not a good thing. So you really want to quit smoking. And hypnotherapy, if you can find a good hypnotherapist, and I have one if you're in the Conejo Valley, Thousand Oaks, LA area, just find a really great hypnotherapist within 1 to 3 times. It can help you. I can help recommend one if you need to. But smoking is really not good. And marijuana, especially now that it's legal here in California, I've seen whether you're eating it or smoking it, it's gonna hurt your sperm. So what it actually does is it shortens the tail of the sperm so that it can't move forward. And then it also causes DNA damage as well. So if you're smoking or doing marijuana or other illicit drugs, your partner is gonna have an increase of miscarriage because it's gonna directly impact your sperm quality. And unfortunately that can happen. And I see that a lot. Not a lot, thank God, but I see it often with the partners that are smoking and they don't want to give it up. The other thing is alcohol. You don't have to give up alcohol completely, but you want to kind of keep it limited to under 4 drinks maximum. And beer actually is has one of the worst impacts on your sperm. So beer, I think it's maybe the wheat. It doesn't do good with the sperm at all. So it doesn't mean you can't have beer, but other drinks could be maybe like a red wine or some clean alcohol, such as a vodka or tequila. But you need to keep it limited to no more than 4 drinks a week, because that's going to impact. It's going to impact your sperm. It's going to impact your baby. It's going to impact your partner's pregnancy. So that's really important. And then, there's other ways to alleviate stress, and a lot of people do this because they're trying to manage their stress, and they create these habits. These habits don't work very well when you're trying to create a new life. So, exercising is really good, a great way to stress relief. And get creative. Find some other ways to stress relief. Watch a comedy, do some exercise, do some meditation. It doesn't take a long time. A lot of people have a misconception of meditation being like you have to sit there quiet without any thoughts for an hour. And like the thought of it is like, oh my gosh, there's no way I can do that. But really it's the breathing and the just kind of detaching for a few minutes. Anywhere even 10 minutes can make a huge difference. So usually what I recommend is let's start slow. Set yourself up to win. Set yourself up to do 2 minutes a day, and then increase it to 5 minutes and 10 minutes. And 10 minutes is amazing. And you're going to feel a difference. It's really life-changing when you start implementing just those exercises where you're taking some time to just detach and breathe and get reconnected into your body. So those things are really important. So other stuff to be aware of are toxins. So whether the toxins are, if you're working in an environment where you're exposed to different chemicals or solvents, then you might want to wear a mask if you're trying to conceive, because those chemicals will come in and get into your tissue and can affect your thyroid, and it can affect your whole endocrine system, and it will definitely impact your sperm. So make sure to wear a mask if you're going to be exposed to toxins or other chemicals or solvents. The other thing is to kind of keep it cool down there. Sometimes we'll even recommend, this might be a little crazy out there, hold on. Sometimes we'll recommend that you put a little ice pack on the testicles for a couple minutes just to kind of keep things cool if there's an issue. So you may find that helpful. But in general, you just want to kind of keep things cool. So watch the laptop, guys. I know a lot of guys put their cell phones in the front pocket. They put their laptop on top of their lap, and they'll, that creates some radiation. It creates also a lot of heat. So be careful of that. And the saunas, you don't want to get into, if you have control of your own sauna, you can keep it at a low warm temperature, but not super hot, and definitely not for long periods of time. So the saunas, you got to really be careful of the saunas and the jacuzzis, because you don't want to overheat and cook those guys. Okay, so just remember that 20% of challenges getting pregnant directly are male issues only. So and then the other thing is, which is really touches my heart, is that if your partner's sperm aren't healthy, then you may not get a good embryo. So whether you're trying IVF or you're trying naturally, it's really vital that your partner be as healthy as he possibly can, so that you guys can have a better chance of getting pregnant, staying pregnant, and having a healthy baby. In fact, you might want to see, I did a interview with Dr. Paul Turek, and Haley can post the link in there, or you can go to our YouTube page and check that out. It's about a 20-minute video where he's talking about male preconception care as well. So you have another perspective, same view. It's on the same page, but just somebody else kind of telling you the same thing. And make sure you don't ignore any of those health issues, guys, and be careful. medications. I see some patients where their husband's taking Propecia or some other medications, and it really impacts the sperm. So really, talk to your doctor about that and check that out. Make sure that if you are on any medications, that everything is going, is safe for you. And there you go. There's some really good tips. I shared a lot of information. If you have any questions, I forgot to tell you to go ahead and type them in, but you can go ahead and type them in, and we can also respond to you later as well. So again, please be sure to share our video and make sure that we can help as many people as possible. Thanks, Haley, for posting the link. And we'll see you next week, 12:30, on the Tea with the Fertility Godmother. Make it a great day. Here's to your fertility.